Otherworldlyculture.com.
Otherworldlyculture.com presents Now Streaming.
Happy Halloween and congrats on finding the premiere episode of Now Streaming. If you want to grace us with your presence, please join our live chat by clicking on the live shows link on the otherworldlycultures.com website. Brought to you by Otherworldly Cultures, Now Streaming is not only one of 4 rotating shows from Dead On, but it's the only one with me, the Ice Princess, as your host. Congrats. You're welcome, and blame Tim if you don't like it. Unlike other rotating shows, Dead On Movie Reviews, Dead On Bases, and Horror Realm Radio, Now Streaming is a panel discussion on whatever movie my heart desires. And also it has to be on an ad-free... an ad... I don't know what it is.
Fast, a free ad-supported streaming television. That's what it stands for.
Whatever the great and powerful said, that is what it is. And he also has to approve it. Tiaras and cosplay are not required. They are strongly encouraged. The sparklier, the better. Being one part Steeltown girl, I had to keep this momentous occasion close to my heart. Passing on my Halloween tradition of Night of the Living Dead because I love George Romero, but everybody does that, so no offense, George. But I needed to showcase the one Pittsburgher that I knew was a little bit more theatrical than I am. Tonight, we discuss the classic horror comedy Transylvania 65000, starring the legendary Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
Since the familiar faces of your faculty of fear bailed on your sweet little ice princess, I had to set both them and my tiara straight. Go back to my roots. Go old school, not just with the movie, but with our guest panelists. So it is now your honor and theirs that I introduce tonight's whatever I called them, I have no idea.
Panelists. Go with panelists.
No, hush. It is tonight's Court of Critics.
There it is.
And either love me or hate me, but this is all Tim's fault. I'm sorry. Okay, the knight in shining hockey masks. We have Tim Godak, fellow convention enthusiast, owner of Darkside Collectibles, a new sci-fi and horror specialty shop. Look for Darkside Collectibles' grand opening coming up this holiday season in Plumboro, PA, where, unlike other hockey mask maniacs, Tim has nobly been protecting daughters from wooded areas of hoodlums and Mad Dog 2020 for 25 years. Give it up for Tim!
Woo! Yes, good to be here. Yes, thank you.
Secondly, boasting such accolades as internet ordained, we have Lord SychoSean from the Church of Beer. I have been graced with his presence for over 40 years of Sean ministering such roles as Chalk Birdie Racer Cohort, Gaming System Advisor, and Witty Wingman. He now brings all of us blessings of beer. Yay!
Hello, everybody!
Now, saving the great and powerful wizard of podcasts for last, we have Tim Kretschmann. Because Tim has the power to axe me at any moment on this show, I must now say the following. Tim is possibly the brightest light in the sea of stars of the solar system.
Just the way I wrote it, yeah. Go on.
As the webmaster for Otherworldly Culture, he is the extreme responsibility of maintaining the world's greatest blah, 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 yada, 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 something, something. He is the host of Dead On Bases with the and Dead On Movie Reviews with the Faculty of Fear, who has ditched me tonight. So blame them for tonight. Blah, 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 something, something, something. He's the producer of this show. Something, something, something.
Hooray.
Stumbling from the murky, moss-filled cemeteries of Muskego, Wisconsin, is the dapper, the finest-looking fellow and mentor this princess could ever have, Tim Kretschmann. Yeah!
I knew you would read it. I knew it. Suzy, I did bring something that this is the closest you'll ever get to seeing it. This is the tiara I got from Mrs. Wisconsin America, and it stays in the case. It stays in the case.
I thought it was going to be Ryan Philippi or Philippi.
No. He's actually standing behind Tim, and oh my God, he just abducted him.
What if we put like a crown on him and you presented him to me?
Hey, we can marry you. I mean, let's go for it.
See, we have it all planned.
Fantastic.
And Jeff Goldblum could be like the entertainer for the evening at our reception. See, it all works.
It does.
Jeff, Brian, if you're listening.
We would allow either to come on the program. We would do that. Now the wheels are spinning.
All right, and now I have no idea what I did with my notes because I threw it when I was done talking about the great and the powerful. So let's get into the movie. Timmy.
Yes.
No,
The other Tim.
Timmy.
Other Tim. Yes.
I'm Timmy. Timmy.
Yes. Give us a recap.
A recap. Well,
Yes.
Transylvania 65000.
Did
A
you
movie
see
about-
actually. You know what actually
Yes.
bombed? They lost
Yes.
a ton of money.
It did not do well. Yeah, I do not believe it did well. Yeah. Yes, it's a movie about two tabloid writers who are tasked with the mission of bringing back a story about the Frankenstein monster or get fired. So they venture to Transylvania and hijinks ensues. Yes, Jeff Goldblum, Ed Begley Jr., Jeffrey Jones, Geena Davis, quite an interesting cast in this one for sure. John Biner, who plays Radu. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but he was actually the voice of Corgi in The Black Cauldron, one of my favorite Disney movies.
Yep. He's fantastic in this too.
Yes. The him and Carol Kane going back and forth. I enjoyed that. I thought the banter between the two of them was entertaining. You know?
I did not realize until I started IMDbing this that the whole kitchen scene was completely ad-libbed. That's one of the best parts of the whole movie, and it was not scripted at all. I couldn't believe it.
I suspect that's why.
Yes.
I mean, it's Carol Kane being Carol Kane.
Right.
You see her running around. It's the same voice. It's the same attacking. It reminds me of when she attacked Billy Crystal in The Princess Bride, or when she was running around in
Scrooge.
There's so many. Scrooge. Well, no, there's another one.
Taxi.
There's so many. Just so many.
I remember her as being Andy Kaufman's girlfriend on Taxi. And there she was a little less aggressive. And it seems as time went on, she became more aggressive in each progressive role. It would be good to have that on a timeline of some kind.
Yeah, it should be the Carol Kane timeline where we start off with Taxi and we end with the unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where she is dating Robert Durst. I mean, there we go.
Some great stuff.
I do not remember, though, Geena Davis looking like such a hoe in this movie.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I don't. She really was. We watched this when we were young, and I don't remember any of that.
And a complete nymphomaniac. The character is a complete nympho.
Worth the price of admission.
Yeah, I was okay with it. Now, is this the movie where those Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis hooked up, or was it later,
No.
on The Fly?
Yes, because I did the same thing. I had to look at it because I realized this is the first out of all of their movies that they were in, and I don't think they had one scene together in this. Did they?
I don't
believe so.
If so, they were far away from each other. If they were.
Because after I rewatched it, I went back and watched it a second time for the whole reason of I said I don't think they were even in a scene together on this one. So what was it? It was this one, and then The Fly, and then
Earth Girls Are Easy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was a great movie.
I don't think that gets said that often. That's a great movie.
It had Miss Julie Brown and the whole "Cause I'm a Blonde." Yeah.
I will say that is in a subgenre of film that I call MTV movies that were like they were heavily promoted by MTV back when MTV still played music. You know, that little 10 years at the beginning of their run. There's like that one. There's a movie called Tapeheads that I really consider a big MTV movie. There's a bunch of them, and I loved that Julie Brown. I don't like Downtown Julie Brown. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but Downtown Julie Brown lied to us about Milli Vanilli, so I can't. I just can't.
I can't say it was a great movie. I take it back. It was a good movie. It was missing something.
It's a fun movie, and it's kind of interesting. That was the beginning of like Damon Wayans, and I think Jim Carrey was the third one.
Jim
right?
Carrey.
Yep.
Yeah. Jim Carrey.
Yep, Jim Carrey.
But he was in Peggy Sue Got Married. Didn't that come out first?
You're probably right, but I can't say that for certain. Wait, what am I saying? Of course, everything you say, Susie, is right and the most correct thing ever stated.
Thank you. I would like to have that in writing. And when we go to Horror Round, I would like you to pass it around to everybody.
That's not going to happen, but okay.
Now, I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but is this not the first time we've seen Michael Richards in a movie?
It's near
or was
the
he
beginning.
in something prior to this?
I'm wondering, this is 1985, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was shortly after this, he was on Fridays with Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. I think it was right in this time frame. Because that's where they met, was on the TV show Fridays, if you ever saw that thing. And now my IMDb is blowing up here. But I'm checking. Now, did anybody recognize, I'm going to call him Dr. Frankenstein, but I think it's something like Malavacqua or Joseph Bologna?
No, Malavacqua was the doctor, was like the evil doctor. The Frankenstein monster had some like just regular.
What was it? Hundavy or Hyundai?
Yeah, and I am looking up Michael Richards as quickly as I can. Now, the doctor, the crazy doctor, is in one of my favorite comedies of all time called My Favorite Year. And never saw that? Joseph Bologna? Oh my God, it's really good. Holy cow, Fridays was before this movie. Michael Richards' first movie was The House of God, followed by Young Doctors in Love. Did anybody see that one? Young Doctors in Love? It was like a, oh God, National Enquirer or something. It was like when everybody was trying to make Airplane again. It was one of those types of crazy things. Michael McKean was in there, and they didn't feel it was crazy enough, so they hired Sean Young, and she was in there. But yeah, that was his beginning. He actually was already pre-seasoned by the time this movie came out. That's amazing. Well, I heard one of the things I found in the trivia for IMDb was that Jeff Goldblum was not the first choice.
The first, yep.
Oh, who was?
Have you ever heard of a show called Bosom Buddies?
Yes.
That was Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari. They actually wanted those two. And it was thought that Tom Hanks was not famous enough. And Peter Scolari, so they kept looking. And I can't recall. I think there were some other people they looked at. And then they got Jeff Goldblum, and Goldblum is the one that said, get Ed Begley Jr. I think that's the order it all went down in. But could you imagine this thing with Tom Hanks? I don't think that works either.
No, I disagree. I need a time machine so I can go fix and right this wrong. Tom Hanks.
Shush! You are out of order, Sean. You are wrong.
My order's just fine here, lady. You took Jeff Goldblum, right? Jeff Goldblum, the America's national treasure. You can't watch him after you watch Jurassic Park. You can't go back and watch him being mean. He's a douche in this movie.
He's a douche in a lot of movies, but he's great.
No.
Yes. Hush. I'm crushing your head.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Sean on this one.
Well, you're wrong too.
Well,
back me up.
Hold on. Let me see if I can mute her for a second here.
I am the hostess. I am the princess. You cannot keep me quiet.
That's for sure. That is accurate. That is accurate. I think the reason this movie was not a hit is all having to do with the script. That's my opinion. And the script was actually written by a guy that co-wrote a ton of Mel Brooks movies.
Okay. I gotta say it because you brought it up, right?
Yep, I did.
One of my notes is about this movie. Mel Brooks movie without the Mel Brooks. That was because it was just every single running gag was like, I was like there. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. And then they didn't do the payoff. And that was the big difference between a Mel Brooks movie and this movie is like, everybody's going to hate me for saying this, but the character Michael Richards annoyed me so much because it's okay. We get it. You're the physical comedy man, but where's the payoff? There was just no payoff.
Yeah. There was a lot of setting up of jokes and then not nailing it. And what's like funny to me,
I've ever dated.
There you are. One of the movies he wrote was Dracula Dead and Loving It. He actually wrote Dracula Dead and Loving It. I'm like, well, this was his dry run. Was this movie almost exactly 10 years earlier? And this one, though, he also directed. And I believe he plays like the cheating guy in the movie that gets caught in the bushes.
That was kind of also a pointless storyline.
That was definitely in there just so he could be in his own movie. That was definitely in there for that. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, when you say pointless storyline, I was really going to give it to this movie, but then I thought about it with how much time, like your 1980s movies, they were an hour and a half, and that was considered long, right? So like you don't have the 3-hour epics that put me to sleep at the movie theaters, but they at least you could develop the characters, and they had so many characters in this film that they really did not develop a lot of the characters. And I think had they had the opportunity to do that, I think they would have been better off. I mean, so I was gonna hit them for like, oh, you know, the didn't move along or felt slicey and dicey. But that was the 80s.
It was, yeah.
Timmy, what do you think?
You know what? I have to agree. It just seemed like it was missing something. Maybe perhaps I wished it really did have a supernatural element to it. In the end, they discover that, there's explanations for everything. But, perhaps, it just fell slightly flat. I mean, it's definitely enjoyable, and it's definitely a movie that I do enjoy watching. But yeah, I have to agree that it seems like the payoffs weren't there with a lot of the jokes, and it was definitely missing. For me, I feel like it would have been better with maybe the supernatural element, But overall, not a bad flick. It's a good Halloween movie, good something to put in for the Halloween season. It's enjoyable. You can watch it with the whole family, so not too shabby.
Well, even the ending, like I was most impressed with the ending. Like I would have liked either or, like the supernatural ending or this ending. But this ending to me was like so forward thinking for the 80s. They're like, oh yeah, you're trying to burn this guy at the stake. He was in a car accident. We just did some, like, it was good. Oh, Geena Davis thinks that she is a vampire because she needs attention. Honey, you don't need attention. Although I was okay with the attention she was getting.
I was giving her attention. Yeah.
But I mean, it was things like that, and like whenever he had the kid, and he's like, "You don't talk to my kid that way." I kind of liked seeing that kind of like, hey, it was ahead of its time, I think, on the ending.
I will say I enjoyed those elements a little bit more now as an adult than I did back when I originally watched it as a kid.
But it didn't.
So perhaps the kid in me wanted the supernatural elements, where the grown up in me enjoys the ending as it is.
At the end, though, there was so much exposition. I thought they really missed having a scene where the camera would pan over to a dog and a beatnik, and say, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for these meddling kids. It was so Scooby-Doo.
Great.
That I think they missed an opportunity there.
They did.
When Ed Begley Jr. runs into the we'll call the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
One thing that left me kind of confused. He backs into the water and a hand comes out of the water and grabs him. Whose hand was that? What happened to the hand?
I think that was Thing from the Addams Family came and made a cameo.
Great. Now I have to go back and watch it again this week. I don't know.
I totally missed that too. Now I want to know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right,
Hey, somebody was watching awful close.
Before we get to grading it, though, I have to tell one story, because if I don't, my sister, who made me the nice little gavel, we used to watch. She would be very mad if I did not tell this story. We used to watch this movie literally every day. Every day after, I don't know why, we would watch this, and I think Girls Just Want to Have Fun and American Dreamer. So anyway, we would watch this. We literally would quote it. We would go around and saying, duck, duck, duck again. Why'd you duck? I don't know. Got into a rhythm. I have no idea why. We did this for like 20 years. So probably, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago, I went downtown to, Jeff Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr. were both in Pittsburgh. They were doing The Music Man. I went. I'm a little extra sometimes, if you guys haven't noticed.
What?
So, shush! And so Jennifer said, oh my God, if you see Ed Begley Jr., please tell him we used to quote his movie. Okay.
Oh, God.
I go to lunch. We go to Subway. Most people are normal. I had this very bright orange dress on with little spaghetti straps, a straw purse. I don't know. It was the thing back then. standing there in Subway, and who frickin' walks in the Subway but Ed Begley Jr.? My eyes, first celebrity I ever met. My eyes get this big. My mouth gapes open. The person that's with me literally stops me because they know what's about to happen. I don't know what happened. It went like I went to another dimension. I ran up to the man, yanked on him. Excuse me. Hi. We loved your movie. My sister and I would watch it all the time. Duck again. I ducked, got into a rhythm. That's from your movie. And he's staring at me. I'm like, but you were in that. And Jeff Goldblum was in that. And you're both in this now. Do you guys talk about that? And he said, oh, yeah, all the time. Always nice to meet a always nice to meet a fan. And he bolted out the door.
He was afraid you were going to hobble him.
That is my first celebrity encounter. Yeah.
Hey, it ended without anybody going to jail, so that's a success.
I've never sent anyone to jail before, ever.
Before.
Well,
that we can prove.
Before.
Well, maybe once or twice. That's neither here nor... Anyway, back to the movie.
Okay.
I don't know how we got this far without talking about Mr. Roper. Like, we got this far, and like, Mr. Roper is in the movie, and he is, hear me out, he is the original J. Jonah Jameson character that J.K. Simmons played later on in Spider-Man. That's it. End of story.
All right, if I had a trophy, you would get it for the night, because, yeah.
That was fantastic, but we also made it this far without making one crude joke at Jeffrey Jones's expense. Because you were talking about, well, the characters aren't very well developed, and I'm like, well, that's how Jeffrey Jones likes his boys. But I didn't do it. Notice I did not do it.
Coffin.
See, okay, I was going to say, I did say that while we were watching this, and he took that, the body that was in the coffin, the mannequin. I said, he was into that shit back then, too, huh?
Oh my God. Well, actually, you look at the cast, this was an excellent cast that they put together for this movie.
So yeah, my question is, for anyone that has never seen it, that would go back and watch it now, for as bad as it flopped back then when it came out, would people love it now because everyone would watch it and be like, holy cow, that's everyone was an all-star cast in that.
I don't think so. I'll tell you why. I had to fight with myself to watch this again. And it's a good thing I did because, last minute I had to step in here. But I was like watching it, and there are parts of the movie that are just so completely silly. It's really hard to enjoy. Like the business of if you pull Joe Bologna out of his lab, he's like a nice guy, and you pull him in, and he's like crazy. But he's crazy like Sid Caesar would play it. I mean, just way over the top, insane. He's like, hey, everybody. He all but pulls out a sign and says, I'm crazy now. And he's like slapping his head, and he's dancing around. And it's like, oh, this is just a smidge, kids. This is just a smidge too much. And really, they didn't use Radu, Jeff Biner. Is it Biner or Briner? I forget. But they don't use him nearly enough. Carol Kane is so good in this. They should have noticed that and beefed up that role. That's my opinion on it.
I agree with most of your opinion, but I would like the record to show the one sentence that you said about how you had to step in here.
Yeah.
That would all be because of your almighty faculty of fear. I had to, create my own court of critics. Blame them.
Oh, I am. I am.
All right, I'm bringing up my noodle so I don't get smacked by the gavel. And I'm going to say that I agree with your opinion as well, seeing like the Sid Caesar. Oh my God, you said that and now I see it. But this movie had the 80s, 90s, and 2000s problem where it's a great cast, but they're all lumped in playing characters that they should not be playing. It's like they don't play to the strengths.
Except Carol Kane.
Yeah, well, Carol Kane was good. Ed Begley Jr., he was always an aloof character. Think of him as Aaron's father in The Office. Think of him as Stan Sitwell in Arrested Development. He has that. Or the character he played on Seventh Heaven with the other creepy dude that did bad things.
Stephen Collins.
Yes.
Why can I come up with the name of pedophiles so quickly? That frightens me.
Here,
that really frightens me.
Protect you.
That's not good. That's not good. Oh
wait. Hold on. We're just. I will put my hat on and absolve you of all of your sins. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll get it on here, and we will absolve you.
Timmy, please help. I'm losing control.
Okay, here's a question though, guys. Which one is the funny one, Jeff Goldblum or Ed Begley Jr.? You know, the classic comedy teams. You have the straight man and you have the comedy one, and I don't know I'm supposed to laugh at.
It's Ed Begley Jr. because honestly, Jeff Goldblum is just kind of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love him.
Right.
But he is like.
Yeah. Well, that's the character.
He literally wanted to go, hit on the single mom, so he sent some creepy guy to go. Like, can we talk about that scene where he's like, "Go play with the little girl"?
And Jeff Jones pushes
about that scene, right?
Jeffrey Jones pushes them both aside.
A boy in Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
Wait, think about it. Like, and so I don't want to play with her. Can't play with her. And then next thing you know, this little girl is just swinging by the arms by some old man, like, that she doesn't know, and the mom's okay with it. It was almost as bad as The Walking Dead. Where's Carl? She was always looking for her daughter.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that I never noticed until now that I'm a mom.
Hey, here's my thing. I think the movie might have been better had Ed Begley Jr. and Jeff Goldblum switched roles.
Absolutely, because Ed Begley could play, like, he can play that character you just want to smack, and Jeff Goldblum, he can, but he can't, because, like,
he's kind of lovable,
and his face is so beautiful. I'm not afraid to admit it.
He's kind of lovable.
I disagree, because Jeff Goldblum does play a very good, I'm like Rico Suave. I have the unbuttoned shirt. I'm going to go, hit on this person. He does that a lot.
He does, but I think he would have been better as kind of like the absent-minded, kind of dopey guy.
Well, it's okay to be wrong sometimes, so, you're wrong.
Ow! Shield!
Mask the block.
So, Tim, you're our expert on toys and things. Were there any collectibles that came out of this movie?
No.
I rest my case. Thank you.
Susie said she had Geena Davis's outfit.
I have the PG-13 version of this. See, look. It stops here. There's no cleavage being seen. It just has the shoulder pads.
There you go. Well, that's very 80s. That's very 80s.
It is.
I found the whole character of Geena Davis's character. If it wasn't Geena Davis playing it, that's kind of where I was a number of times in this movie. Like, if it wasn't Geena Davis playing her, would I connect to this character at all? And it's kind of like, no, because the woman that plays the love interest for Jeff Goldblum, what's her name?
Who is she? Because she's been in a ton of stuff too, but I didn't look her up before.
I did look into her a little bit. She's one of those late 70s, early 80s on every TV show you can think of. Her name is Teresa Gansel, and she used to get a lot of play on TV shows like Soap and when I call it the dying days of variety television in the 70s, like when all of a sudden Barbara Mandrell and her sisters had a show, and this is after the heights of Sonny and Cher, if anybody has ever said that before out loud. It was like all those really bad Pink Lady and Jeff and all that sort of stuff. That was the type of stuff that she was involved in. You start going 70s and 80s trivia variety shows, I'm the guy. Just ask me. I used to live, Friday nights I would watch Donnie and Marie, and then Quark would come on right after it. That was like great programming to young Tim.
I had a satin Pink Lady's jacket.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I did cosplay long before there was even a word for it, or it was cool. I frickin' invented it.
Listen, I was a Pink Lady up at IUP, so you can take that for what it's worth.
I'll take IUP for what it's worth. I mean, come on.
All right.
Okay. I guess we should go ahead and grade these with our little emojis because we're missing a giant part of this whole show.
Yeah, we're
which streaming service did you folks watch on?
Oh, wait. Let's grade the movie first, please.
Oh,
and then we'll move into that.
There's rules. You better follow the rules or you get hit with the mallet.
Right, there are rules, but in Timmy's defense, I did not give a declaration of said rules prior to. So that is my fault. Wait, let the record state I am taking the fault for something. I admit my wrongdoing.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
So this show, now streaming, is different from all the others, the lame ones that the faculty of fear that didn't show up for do. We don't give, like, what is it, numbers or any of those other things. We give a thumbs up, a heart, an angry face, the wow face, and the laughy face. So.
And a sad face.
Oh, yeah, the sad face, too. I don't ever want to give sad faces. I don't like to be sad.
Okay.
We need a pouty face. Can we have a pouty face?
No.
Can we just
No, this is all you get.
Denied quickly.
If you know how long it took to set this up, you would not be asking. The producer says no.
That's a reality. We need a pouty face. Facebook needs a pouty face.
I think you have that. You just put a GIF of Mark Zuckerberg up, and that's it.
Oh, I thought that was the replacement for the poop emoji.
So to be clear, we need Jeff Goldblum on the show. We need Ryan on the show. The only person that trumps Ryan would be Jeffrey. What the heck's his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Timothy Oliphant. We need them on there, and then we need Mark Zuckerberg on here, so I can have the pouty face for when I talk to those guys. Anyway, moving on. Timmy, how would you rate this movie?
I'm going to go with the laughing emoji, I would say.
There we go.
The laughing emoji. Wait, what does the laughing emoji mean to you? Are you laughing with
the laughing emoji? Because it wasn't necessarily a thumbs up great movie, but I did enjoy it enough that I got a chuckle out of it. And so because of that, because of the few laughs that I had and the quips between Carol Kane and John Biner and a few other moments, I'm going to go ahead and give it the laughing emoji.
All right. And Sire Sean over there, Your Excellency, what would you give it?
It's a sad emoji. I'm gonna cry. I'm
Where's my
crying.
shank?
It's okay, Sean. It's okay.
Let me get this right. You picked the one that Suzy said you absolutely couldn't use.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just to spite her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Shut up! Okay. Oh, great and powerful. Oh, the Almighty. Let me bow down to Tim.
She wouldn't even let me explain why I gave
Yeah.
her.
You have to let him say why it's sad. Why is it sad?
No.
I want to know the reasons before I cast my vote.
The sound of the feet. Suzy, I'll give you a heart, okay? I'll give you the heart, but the movie's still sad face. Just because...
Here's my heart breaking in.
It's just
At
the
least it
letter
wasn't a
S.
middle finger. I'll take it.
You broke my heart.
I'm just sad because it had such a potential with that cast to do more. So that's the sad face.
Oh, nothing out of Suzy. You got nothing.
Well, it was great being here for my first and last time.
Guess what?
You're gonna give it a sad face too.
For exactly the same reason. I was thinking, you get a cast like that together, and this is the best thing you can put out there, and you get a writer like this. This read, or it felt like a high school play that could have been put on. It really didn't. Right after I saw the movie, I'm like, okay, what's a scene I can talk about if called on this? And I'm like, there's no scene that really grabbed me except for
You're wrong.
the
You're
kitchen
wrong.
scene.
You're wrong.
The-
You're wrong.
The kitchen scene with Carol Kane was funny. Okay, what scene, Suzy?
Well, you already said that one.
Yeah.
What about the whole patient trying to get in, patient trying to get in, man trying to get out? Oh, wait, no. Other way around. Patient trying to get out.
Right.
That was funny. And the whole duck,
Was it?
Duck again. Suzy made an ass out of herself. Duck again.
I would use the term amusing more than funny on some of that stuff. It was like, okay, I don't want to poke my eyes out, which sometimes happens with movies, but I really felt like there's something more they could have done with this, and particularly when Young Frankenstein happened prior to this. That's how this type of movie should be. I mean, that's a very high bar. I understand that. But it's like, start with the jokes and then put it into a story. They felt it was really important to have a story there. And I was like, I don't need a story. Let's be funny. And that was my issue with it.
Well, I gave it a laughy face, and my vote counts for 2.
It does?
It does, because I'm the princess, and I sparkle.
Really? I didn't know that.
So,
There
3
you go.
laughy faces and 2 sad faces, which means it gets a laughy face.
Yes.
Cheating. Okay.
It is.
All right. Well, then it is a laughy face for the win. So I have that set up, even though I strongly disagree with this sentiment. but
Well,
you are the queen, so we bow down before you.
No. I am the princess.
Oh my God. Okay. Whatever.
There's a big difference between a queen and a princess. And I am a princess, not a queen. I do not want the responsibility. I just want the sparkle. I just want to have fun.
All right.
Now, moving on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I did fail my kingdom, and I forgot to explain how this show works. Not only did we review the movies, but we also review the streaming sites.
Yes.
So I will try to find movies that are on at least more than one free, whatever, ad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Thing, so we can rate the different ones. How many of us watched it on more than one? Like, I watched it on Tubi and Plex.
I barely made it through one.
Well, that's because you're sad.
It was sad, but you seem to negate that, and now it's ha-ha.
I said you're sad. I did not say the movie was sad. Sean, what did you watch it on?
I watched it on Tubi.
Okay. Tim, not Timmy. Tim, what did you watch it on? Tubi?
I watched that on Tubi, yeah.
Okay. Timmy.
I watched it on Tubi and Plex.
See, that's why you're my favorite.
Oh, my God. You kiss up.
He just listens. You can tell he's been married for a long time. He listens. Or he tunes it out. I don't know. One of the two.
I did my homework.
What's your excuse? You should, yeah. I feel like Tubi is everybody's go-to. I love Tubi. I will not complain about Tubi, but we need to see what else is out there. So, for those of us that did watch both, how do you rate Tubi and Plex? Now, I kind of went the scientific route, and I wrote all kinds of notes. So, Timmy, you tell me.
You know what? I enjoyed Tubi more than Plex, of course, unfortunately. Just the color schemes, and it was just more inviting. I was watching on my TV system downstairs, which I fancy to be a pretty good sound system.
You fancy to be?
And
please tip your
I noticed
your teacup right now. You just said you fancy to be.
Yep. And I did notice that Plex seemed to actually have a better sound quality and a better picture quality in the streaming than Tubi did. But I like the overall platform of Tubi and Tubi more. But I did notice, for technical reasons, Plex actually seemed a little bit better with the streaming. Although they seemed, I don't know if it was just me, but Plex seemed to have a little bit more commercials than Tubi did.
They actually had
did.
7 minutes more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so then that's what I thought, yes. Yeah, so that got to be a little bit annoying, but...
So,
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but Plex had, like I said, 7 minutes more of commercials, and they had more commercial breaks, but where they had their commercials was at the end of the scene, whereas Tubi would just cut right in the middle of them. Okay, so you...
Sometimes mid-line.
I put that down as one of my notes, that the ad placement and transition could have been better on Tubi. And it was Susie's gonna kill me again. It was okay for that movie, but if you're in an involved movie where you got to pay attention and you've got to be right on it, that ad placement is going to take you right out, and you're going to be like, "What's going on?"
Yep. I counted 29 ads on Tubi, and I had 13 minutes. I will tell you, I've done this before, counting ads because I'm a psycho. And Tubi tends to have about 5 minutes of ads for every hour of content. That just seems to be their number. And that's what I found. And I actually went through the math, and 12% of the time I was sitting in front of the TV was ads. And I think all of us are in battleground states right now. There was a lot of political ads coming through on both sides of the aisle. and we don't do politics, but there were a lot of political ads. I cannot wait until next month. And
actually, I don't feel like it was that much, to be honest. It might have been with maybe the one I just watched, but like.
How long ago did you watch it, Sean?
I watched it on the day that I sent you the message on Monday, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, because I had nothing but political ads.
It wasn't anything like I see on a typical streaming service. So I was fairly like okay with it, and especially with the fact that it was free, I was like, okay, this wasn't. I was going in with like I was going to get hammered with them.
It was better than YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube on my Roku, and oh my God, the amount of ads on YouTube compared to every other streaming service, it's nuts. YouTube is crazy, and I know we're going to be uploading this onto YouTube, but I'm sure they're going to throw 500 ads in here because that's what they do. I can't believe how many ads on there. So this was less, but I would say roughly half the ads for me were political, and I watched it over the weekend. More than half. And I live in Wisconsin. We're a battleground, and I know you guys are in Pennsylvania, which is a battleground. I wonder if, California and New York, if they're anywhere near that, or Texas, that are kind of solidly one color, if they're getting the same amount of ads, because that's one of the things that streaming has that regular television never had. They can tell you, like, if I mentioned that I'm going to buy an electric bike, you cannot believe the amount of ads I get from Aventon for the next month. It's just all the time. I just have to say it in front of that little smart speaker back there, and it's over.
The fact that you even said electric bike now, you're going to get all of them. So my next question is, when you guys did watch them, how did you find the movies? Like, did you actually put it in? Did you tell your TV, hey, how did everyone search for these?
I just typed it in because it was very intuitive. It's so it's Tubi, so it was I felt intuitive. It felt like every other streaming service that I use. So, I was able to get, right to it. The only thing that I found a little bit weird is whenever I was typing it in, it did not come up on the right side as quickly as other algorithms would, like in Hulu or something. Like if I was typing in Transylvania, boom, it would show right away. I had a lot of Transformers and kind of on the side. So it wasn't as quick, but it was still, I got to it and it was still easy enough.
Because my problem that I have is my entire house is an Alexa house. So all I have to do is say, Alexa, show blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even think about it when we were watching this movie, but with both Tubi and with Plex, I said, Alexa, please play blah, 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 blah. And she did. She pulled up the movie that I wanted and the site that I wanted. So,
and we can hear the blob. Susie, we can hear the blob starting in the background. You shouldn't say play blah, blah, blah. It's starting to play old Steve McQueen movies.
Tim, when I see you at Horror Realm, I'll have to tell you about another time that Alexa almost, it went bad. I can't say it on.
Okay.
So yes, the next movie we watch, I need to find 2 different sites and actually type it in and see how we navigate through, because I'm curious about that. For people that are like my dad that don't know how to do all of these apps, and he gets frustrated and pissed off and
I'm going to point something out about Tubi, because I'm a big advocate of Tubi. Tubi has the best acquired material. Like when they get a lot of really good stuff. And if you want to find the good stuff on Tubi, go under genres, and there's one called Movie Night. That one's got the best stuff. And I'm talking, it's basically tentpole movies. They got a lot of great stuff in there. However, if you go into horror and you see something that says Tubi Original, that is a warning sticker. That is, your life is going to suck. Because I have not watched one of those yet that's good.
No, you are wrong.
Which one?
Every single person that you and I see at the conventions would also want to hit you right now. Before I go on with my rant on that one, Timmy, when you watched it on both Tubi and Plex, how did you search for them?
I just actually put it in insert. I use the Roku a lot, and I did the speech volume or the speech to text, and I just said Transylvania, and it came right up for me.
Gotcha. Okay, so you did. Oh, yeah. I'm curious for, like I said, the people that aren't used to this whole app thing, how hard it is to type it in and search and find. So
yeah, I seen a notice as soon as I got to the trans and I added the Y. I believe that's when it popped up for me. Like Sean said, I believe there was a lot of Transformers and other things that would pop up first. But once you get to the Sylvania part, you were okay.
Okay. Before I yell at Tim for why he's wrong and mean, does anyone else have any thoughts?
Well, I did like something about Tubi, and I don't know if the other streaming service had it, but I like the ability to not need an account to watch on Tubi.
That is a plus. That's a plus to those fast, the free ad supported. A lot of them don't make you have an account. Now, I like having an account because I am constantly adding stuff to that queue. I have a list that's probably got 500 movies in there. There are movies on Tubi that I found that literally a couple years back people told me is never going to get on streaming services because it's too rare and too weird. And they get a lot of those. It's crazy.
I was going to say, so, Sean, I'm the complete opposite. I like the fact that Tubi, it doesn't make you, but you have the option of making an account. So I do have an account because I like to be able to pick up where I left off. My life is crazy. I can never usually sit down and watch a whole movie. So I like to be able to save where I'm at and then go back to it.
I do like that you have a choice. You know, there's so many of them where you have no choice. You have to create an account, and you got yet another password to remember. This one...
No, you just keep the same password for everything, or just tell
No. If you're like my mom, you've given out that password or not given out that password, or she wears the password on her shirt so everybody can join in. That was, see, I was thinking from the old mentality of like, you've got some elderly person that's going to watch this. They don't need an account, so they can get right on. They can type it in. It was easy to navigate because I know like a lot of people just don't want that. Like if you have an account sitting out there that you never use, that is prime for hacking. So like the fact that it's just, like, I would probably make an account just because for what you're saying, right? You can go back, you can watch, you can add stuff to your queue that you can't normally find. Like, those are good options. But, like, I'm thinking outside the box for those, even those people who, like I said, just are, I don't want to make it because the internet hears every single thought and they're going to see my browser history. Like, that's a cool thing to have.
I was just thinking, I wonder if you would be required to have an account if it's like R-rated material. Because otherwise, I'm going to tell all of our preteens out there, this is the place to go, everybody. You can watch. There are so many dirty movies out there on Tubi.
Do you know what's going to happen the minute you tell any type of preteen or teenager this is what you want? They will never, ever, ever go near it, ever. If you want them to watch it, tell them to stay away from it.
That's how I am with bad movies. If somebody tells me a movie is just horrible, it's like burnt toast. I'm like, oh, I just have to. I know it's bad, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's how I am with guys.
We know.
Wait, no, I know.
There it is.
Check, please.
My God. Wow.
No, not the do them part. The whole, they're bad, stay away. Oh, but they're so cute. Sean, help here.
Awkward silence.
I'm here to bless you, my child.
I can't help it, but they're bad, and so like it's enticing. So you have to run after. Anyway, I digress.
Yes, you did.
That was a long time ago. That was when I was a teenager, not listening to. Oh, you should do this. Do you see my point here?
Sure.
Yeah, that tracks.
Tim, thoughts, Timmy? That is.
I got nothing.
Suzy, I gotta ask, whose photo is that next to you there?
So,
It's not Ryan Felipe.
No, but we are in Pittsburgh, and it's Halloween, so we must give honor.
Chili Billy Cardell.
Ah, okay. I'm from Wisconsin. I don't know Chili Billy. We had Toulouse No Neck. It was terrible. I'm so glad I could tune in Svengoolie in Chicago.
Actually, I don't know. That came from the Scarf Foundation, so I didn't know who it was, but it was a Pittsburgher. So there you go.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed. You call yourself like this big horror buff, and you didn't know Bill Cardell.
Well, it's a black and white photo. Okay, shut up.
Out comes the gavel.
No, I'm blocking it this time.
Wait.
Invoking at the same time.
Wait a minute. Walk like an Egyptian.
You can do that, I think.
Tim is safe. Somebody mark him on Facebook safe from Suzy. Safe from Suzy is going to be a button on Facebook.
I don't know how to respond to that one. I'll be like Steel Magnolia. Damn it, I am pleasant.
She went wild again and the mic went crazy. Suzy, is it time for plugs?
I think so, yes. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm contractually obligated to read this other stuff that the great and powerful said. Please remember to rate us, like us, and follow us on any of the podcast applications or on Twitch and YouTube. It helps to find new viewers, so we keep doing our programming here on Otherworldly Cultures. Something, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and do whatever it was he just said. The plugs. Yes, what are we plugging?
Well, first, I think we need to let people know that we have... Oh, wait a minute. Why is that going?
It
There we go.
just sounded like the people from Curly Ground. You know, the old people.
Sorry about that. Otherworldly culture.com is going to have Dead on the Bases next week, Thursday. We're coming back for an episode, and then it's back to Dead on Movie Reviews. But next week, it is going to be Dead on Thursdays. But we need to make a shout out to one of our panelists and his website. It's loading up. It is a big website, everybody. Darkside Collectibles, the website's open. What about the store?
Yes, Darkside Collectibles, the store. We're hoping to be open by the end of November, beginning of December, so we should be ready to roll for the holiday season. We're bringing the best and national brands of collectibles, along with some of the greatest and local talent and local artists, all together in one roof. I like to call it like the Steel City Con without going to Steel City Con. It's just a little bit of something for everybody under one roof, and we're really excited about it. The website is up and running. It's www.darksidecollectibles.net. You can stay tuned for coming events and grand opening. And we're definitely all excited about it. It's been going very smooth, and and it's exciting. There's not much like that in the Pittsburgh area. There's a few collectible stores, but they're on the outskirts and a little bit distant. So this is something that I've always wanted to do. It started with just me being a collector myself, and then I thought, how can I bring all this together into one place and share it with everybody? And this is kind of what we came up with. So, yeah, so we're real excited about it. It's pretty much family-owned business. So it's me and my family. It's my wife and my kids, my children, and they've all been a huge help. Every one of them have been phenomenal and great support. So we're really excited to do big things here coming soon. So.
That's great. Now, did this start because your wife said, okay, there's too much in the house, you better get it out of here?
I have what we call, the man cave in the basement. And she gets mad if I start to creep towards the upstairs. But I tell her, I say, this is the stuff that's going to make us money someday, honey.
But you got to sell it.
So, Timmy, I have a question, though. You did mention about different vendors could be in there as well, though. So if you are a vendor who is looking to have space to sell, your stuff, are you already all full? How do they get involved in that?
No, you know what? If you're a local artist or a vendor and you've got a product that you think, fits into the horror, sci-fi, genre, reach out to me. I have on the website, you'll see there is an address to contact us. It is info@darksidecollectibles.net. You can email me, and I would love to hear from those people. And I am very open to all of the local artists and all of this. So, I'd love to hear from anybody who feels that they have something to offer. It's greatly appreciated. I've always said that, it's a group effort, so I want to promote, and help push these individuals as well. So, so everyone can enjoy themselves, have a little bit of fun, and maybe we can all make some money in the process. So,
I will say
yes.
your website is possessed, because when I went there, it started talking to me, and I was very frightened. But there's like a little chat window. So if you're having trouble finding things, I played with that chat, and that helped quite a bit.
Yes. Yes, we also are on Instagram and Facebook, so you can also find us there. We ask it, everyone, please give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And good things coming in the future here, so stay tuned,
Fantastic. Now, I am contractually obligated to bring up the horror realm is coming February 28th through March 2nd. It's only 121 days away. So you better start preparing now.
Start packing now. I have to start packing now.
Well, if it's anything like you getting ready today, you probably do.
It works.
You're going to need the time.
Listen, I need 3 wardrobe changes for that. I need one for before the day starts, one for when I'm on the floor, and then the after parties. That's another one. I mean, it goes all day. It's a whole thing.
And we are happy to say that there have been some new guest announcements. You'll want to check out the website for all of them, but they did announce last night on Horror Realm Radio that Barbara Crampton is returning this year. She had to cancel last year just prior to the event. We have 2 people from Evil Dead 2 that are coming, and from Prom Night 2. We have Lisa Schrag is coming, and Michael Berryman from Hills Have Eyes. It's going to be a big show, and I believe there's still some tables open. I don't know that for certain.
Can I just say, though, that thanks to Prom Night 2, I now need to add another outfit to the entire thing. So it's a whole thing. I'm going to have an even bigger crown. I mean, yeah.
There's going to need to be a truck available to move all your stuff.
Wait, I'm so excited. It's the best weekend ever.
Well, fantastic, but that's what's going on at...
And Sean, as the ordained minister, what do we do if we need your services?
Yes.
Well, right now I'm between projects, so it has been a great time just to be on the show. So I mean, I might get back to streaming on Twitch. We've had a lot of technical difficulties recently, but it's just nice being between projects and just sitting down. Like anytime you need a fill in.
Yay!
Well, fantastic.
What if someone needed to get married, though? You are ordained by the internet.
I am. So whenever I was streaming, everybody had their little thing, and my name was at that time the Beer X, and I had the Church of Beer, and everybody thought it would be hilarious if I went on and got ordained. And so what I did was I went to, I think it's the Life Church, and went through their little process, and voila, I am ordained.
So if I die, will you take care of my funeral services for me?
Oh, absolutely. Yay. I'll be like, she was a princess.
She goes directly to death. Did everybody notice that? She goes directly to death. I was going to say maybe you should bless Tim's new store, and you're all about what about when I get killed?
Listen, bro. I have very specific details that need to happen at my funeral. Do you expect me to see what that is?
Nope.
And I need to know that I have someone that I trust to take care of my funeral.
I mean, you did trust me in setting up a Nintendo 64 or whatever it was all those years ago. I took care of you now, or then I'll think about taking care of you now.
Nintendo 64 funeral. Roughly equivalent.
If you talk to my child, the 64 is probably more important than my death.
That was the first time I ever got introduced to her dark side with the story about how she used it as a parenting tool.
Wow. Ooh. If I were you, Susie, I'd start closing. Before it gets into the real secrets.
All right, we are ending this evening. If you would like to know more about how I scarred my child forever by... Some moms use a wooden spoon. Some use a switch. I don't know what they use. I used clowns in the sewers that eat bad little children. If you want to know more, come to Horror Realm, join our panel, and I will answer every question you have.
Follow me for more parenting advice.
What?
Follow me for more parenting advice.
It worked. He didn't do anything wrong. Us.
All right.
I digress. This is where I'm supposed to close the show.
Yes, I'm going to mention this, Susie. I'm going to mention this. The next Now streaming is December 12th. So we need to start getting ready for that one already. So
I can tell you right now, it's going to be a Hallmark Christmas movie with princesses.
Oh, God. Okay.
Because unlike the other shows with the Faculty of Fear who bailed on us, this one's not all horror. It's going to be sunshine and unicorns and everything else. And sometimes unicorns stab you to death.
Okay, great. All right, do your closing.
I don't know. But that's what the great and powerful Tim. I don't know. We did not go over how to close. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a cute face. Something. New viewers, something. Find us on all the socials. I don't even know what they are. Apparently we have a Twitter. Is that right?
We got all sorts of stuff. We have
Instagram.
Yep.
We have Facebook. We have emails. Whoever's on Otherworldly Cultures, it's whatever our name is, at otherworldlycultures.com. something. I don't know. Thank you for joining. Thank you for putting up with me. It's Tim's fault. And I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but don't ever let anyone dim your sparkle. And until next time, reach for the remote and keep streaming.